everyone, my name is Angie Roundtree, and the title of this video is Teaching Diction, a demonstration of ways to help students choose the right word. Our learning goals for this session will be 1. To understand the importance of choosing the right word, 2. To compare sentences to determine which one has the better word usage, and 3. To apply correct diction in your own writing. Before we start writing, I want to define diction. What is diction? Diction is having a database of vocabulary and picking the right descriptive word in your writing for your audience. And basically that means proper word choice. We also need to define the audience. Your audience is your reader. If you're writing a book for 3-year-olds, you're going to want to use simple, colorful words. For example, instead of run, you would use jogged or raced. If you're teaching a high school English class, you're going to want to use words appropriate for their grade level. You want to use more advanced words. For example, instead of plan, you want to use strategy, proposal, or design. Now, don't be afraid to challenge your students, because if they don't understand what the word is, they'll be able to get it from the context. And if they still don't have trouble understanding it, then you will have taught them a new vocabulary word. Now that we have understood what is diction and who our audience is, we need to know why is diction important in writing. When you choose the appropriate word for your audience, you're an artist. You're painting a picture of what you want them to grasp through their writing. Imagine you're a painter. You have your paints, your canvas, and you have to decide what you want to paint. So maybe you would choose a landscape. So you're going to start painting your landscape, and you go layer by layer. You would paint your background. You'd paint the grass, and then you'd maybe paint the clouds, and then you'd add some trees and some birds. Now that painting is like the artist is inviting you to take this journey with them through their painting. So the writing is similar to that. You're taking your reader on a journey, and you want to be very specific and direct, and you want them to see what you have written. So painting is very visual, and you have to create that picture with your words. Now, proper word choice or diction helps the writer create a beautiful work of art. For example, a coat isn't torn, it's tattered. The U.S. Army doesn't want revenge, it is thirsty for revenge. A door doesn't shut, it thuds. So you want to use more descriptive words to create that beautiful work of art. A few tools that are very helpful is your dictionary and your thesaurus, and also in your Word documents. If you right-click on the word, you're going to see synonyms that pop up. So the word look easily becomes expression, stare, or glanced. Now, picking the right word depends on the circumstance. We have formal diction, which is scholarly writing or poetry. We have informal diction, which is newspaper editorials and works of fiction. We also have slang, which is an informal speech, and they need to be used in appropriate situations. And you can't talk about diction without mentioning tone and connotation of words. So tone is the basic idea or emotion of what you're trying to express, and connotation is the meaning of words. In the Bible, we see several examples of tone. In Genesis 1, we see a very informative tone is talking about creation. Genesis 3, we see the tone has changed, it's heartbreaking. We see Adam and Eve, they have defiled God and are forced out of the Garden of Eden. And Jesus' birth, we see a very joyful tone. And then we also see anger when Jesus is kicking out all of the greedy merchants for defiling the house of God. Now let's look at some words and sentences to practice our diction. Now, when you're talking about an overweight person, you could say obese, and it's a very negative connotation. Or you could say stocky, and that's more of a positive spin on it. Now, when you're talking about someone who, if you'd use the word prissy, your mental picture immediately creates someone who is sticking their nose up and isn't very, very happy. If you talk about prim and proper, you immediately get the picture that you are in England with sitting at a long table, and everyone is there using all these forks and spoons. And then if you're using the word nothing, that's more proper than if you would use the word nothing. have a few words here, and the word talk. Eric, could you give me a better word that's more expressive, more meaningful than talk?
Express.
Yeah, that works. I've written a few down. We have barb, converse, discuss, gossip. If you write the word discuss, you can picture two people sitting down having a conversation. If you use the word gossip, you can immediately see someone in the corner whispering to someone else. So that's what we're talking about when we want to change those words, make their story more colorful, make it more interesting, and really have the reader picture what's going on in their minds. And now I found this on YouTube. It's called Teaching Diction with Paint Samples. And she says it's for children, and then later she corrects herself and says it's for students. But I think it's very appropriate, and I think anybody can learn from this.
Go ahead. One of the really good ways to teach children about word choice, we should teach.
Okay, so it's not working. So what she's saying in the video is about paint samples. We all see them at the store. They have the lighter color up top and they go down to the darker color. So she's explaining that you choose a word in the middle, and then you could either go darker or you could go lighter. So I have done some examples just like that. Like the word suffer. A lighter would be bear. Darker would be endure. If you would choose the word sink, to make it a lighter tone, you would say overturn, and a darker would be capsize. And the word grasp. The lighter is hold, and the darker is clenched. So you're really getting the reader to picture it in their minds by using darker and lighter words. And our last exercise I would like, we have the word taste, laughed, and spoke. So go ahead and take a few minutes and write a couple words that are different, that are synonyms to taste, but they're more expressive. And then go ahead and change the word taste in the sentence and just write the sentence down, and do that for all three examples, please. Thank you, Ms. Joyce. Okay. And I wanted to read, let's compare the sentences. So Sam tasted the Pop-Tart. It's kind of bland, but instead we could come up with Sam savored the Pop-Tart. And for laughed, we have the children laughed at the clown. And you can say that the children roared at the clown. Your reader is seeing that the children are very happy, very excited, very into this clown. The last sentence, I spoke to the teacher about the homework. We could say, I discussed with the teacher about the homework, giving the picture that they're sitting down, they're just talking instead of yelling or screaming at each other. So, in conclusion, diction or proper word choice in tone and connotation of words, it leads your reader to go on this journey with you. So we need to make sure that we pick the correct word, and that will transform your writing into a beautiful work of art. Thank you.